We just randomly went offline. And we're back. Okay. Let's see. Small square when you're ready. We have a cutting disc in the grinder right now.
It's radically small.
We should be fine for this. Pick up that knife, please. And plug us in.
Sent some sparks flying towards your left.
I broke that disc. Don't tell me we're out of discs. Really?
this one.
Uh-uh. This may be the biggest one we have. Okay, I need to get more. Dang consumables. All right, these should be practically identical. So whatever we do to one, we should be able to do to the other. I have them inverted so that the cupping is on the same side. I'm thinking what I may do, well, I need to lay this out first. So I'm going to lay out on this one. We're going to get high. for like 30 seconds, if that. Just waiting for it to dry. That's while that's drying. Aw, that's nice. And good morning, the universe. You touched it with your finger and it didn't do anything? Okay. Finger smudge. Oh. Well, either way, while that's doing its thing, I think we will start to make the
Your whistling did call a bird somewhere. You told me you're part Disney princess.
I may be part Disney princess. Do you have a problem with that?
There's no one out of a fool.
Tongs I'm looking for small for 3/8. These will work, but I was looking for the other ones. No, the smaller bolt jaws. Okay, so now where's the turning hammer?
One that has the flips that goes.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay, so look at this piece. This is what I'm going to be forging. And tell me how I'm going to get that out of that. It's pretty simple.
Yeah,
What's the first step?
point.
In this case, no,
Okay.
because we're actually going to be working from this way back.
So you probably make that shoulder first, wouldn't you?
Yeah. So I'm going to first set in a shoulder on the far side so that I have the steep side on the far side. If I tried to set the shoulder here, I'd have the shallow side here, right?
Yeah.
So over here, it's going to end up like this. On the other, over here, it ends up like this.
Yeah.
Make sense?
Yeah, because that's how I messed up half my knives.
Right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a bite, and I know that I want this to kind of saddle I want it to saddle the bar, so I'm going to leave it as thick as I can. So I'm going to take a bite here, and I'm going to try and leave as much of that as possible. And take this down to close to its final thickness. I know I'm going to have to do a lot of filing in this. Pretty much. Because what I have to do is I have to make a cam that will fit into this space here, saddle on both sides, and then come central into the lever. And I may actually go ahead and put like an actual like finger loop on this rather than coming flat. I may just go ahead and make it like a decorative finger loop there. Why? Because I think it might look cool.
The best things about wands is stick with decorations.
Yeah, and I was thinking about it. I'm going to have to do some engraving and stuff like that on this. Now I'm going to get this down to about 1/8 of an inch, which is going to be fairly thin. And to start this so that I can have that split, I may actually need to run a chisel and then something like this as a rounded bottom to it to bottom that out and spread it. In fact, I'm going to modify this more. Give it an even more rounded bottom. That'll decrease the likelihood that I'll blow through it. I probably ought to start thinking about doing that already while it's thick. So I'll probably need your help. Yeah, and I'll just go straight in with this, as long as I can get that lined up right. So what you'll do is you'll take it out, set it down with the button side up, and I'm gonna hammer on top of that button. Okay. The fat side up. I'll correct your orientation. All right. Yep, that orientation right there. Oh, it's not quite where I wanted it. It's not either. Really, I need like right in between those two. All right, I guess we're going with that. I'm just gonna kind of chop this through. Getting my line. All right, back in, and then we'll go in with the fat chisel. Good morning. Yum. Wait. What? I didn't. Red Robin. This is Daniel. Uh-huh. Yeah, kind of handyman work and welding and stuff like that. We have never done blind cleaning. Uh-huh. Yes, our services are a bit, I guess, in a way, is a bit more niche than just general handyman. Mostly, it deals with metal work. Uh, Again, like welding, and we can do residential welding and stuff like that as well. Yeah, we can do metal fences or metal gates. Uh, we could do repairs to some previous metal structures, like if someone has a gate hinge or something like that that they want welded on rather than bolted. uh, we could come out and we could like weld that on. Uh, Doing stuff like that. I mean, there's, in general, if we're not comfortable with doing it, then we're also gonna see what we can do to find someone that can as well. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And I've passed every federal, state, and local background check that's ever been done to me. I used to work for the state in a medical institution, or not a medical institution, but a medical facility, and so I was HIPAA, FERPA compliant, and everything. So I have no reservations with a background check. For a decent sized job, our limit would probably be about 75 to 100 miles or so. In Texas, we rarely gauge anything by miles, but more like time. So I'm comfortable traveling an hour, hour and a half, or something like that, if it's a decent size job. But the load that we have to carry in order to do residential welding and stuff like that, the equipment, the vehicle, and stuff like that, it cost us quite a bit to get out there too. So we definitely want to make sure that anything outside of, like, 15 to 30 minutes is going to be a decent size job, or is at least going to pay the balance back. Uh, that said, we are also willing to do some of the smaller jobs that some welding companies may not be willing to do. I had a customer come in the other day who just needed a very small piece of a windmill, like one of those backyard 6 foot windmills, decorative windmill, and it broke, and they just needed a piece of that welded, so they brought it in, and I they said they contacted a, a dozen welding companies, and none of them were willing to take a job so small. And that was about 5 to 10 minutes of my time, and I have no problem doing that. Okay. Okay. I yeah, as long as everything's kosher and affordable from our standpoint, yes. I am actually a sole proprietor. I but I have two assistants that work with me. Um, However, neither of them are employed. One is actually an apprentice. So the price of his work is learning. Um, yeah, actually, that's another thing that I do is I actually teach general blacksmithing and fundamental bladesmithing as well. Well, I'm fresh out of crystals, but I understand that the red crystals are being mass produced for the Sith. So you know, most of it right now is still by word of mouth. We have a website and stuff like that, but most of it is by word of mouth, especially locally. And we also do trade shows selling our blacksmithing wares. We do our best. Again, I'm a sole proprietor, so doing all the jobs plus the books. We're I have an assistant that helps me with keeping the books. In fact, if we're going to get down to price talking, it really ought to be a conversation that I have with you and also her. Yes, I have. We have our email. It's livingstonforge@gmail.com. That is, yeah. I could. Again, like if the more nitty gritty we get, the more I need to pull in my financial assistant. She really helps me make a lot of these kind of decisions, and I don't want to go too far without her. So I mean, is there a way that we could schedule a call for a little bit later today? Really, I don't have too much on my schedule today, up until about 4 o'clock. So okay, 1:30. Let me write that down. I think we should be good for 1:30. Okay. Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. Okay, that sounds awesome. All right, thanks. Bye. I'm wanted in all 50 states. All right, let's go. What are you making? A thing?
Points. The idea was they could make something so that the camera has something to look at.
Okay. That's how I made my first marlin spike. Was I started just like that. All right. Take this over to a sharpish corner. Kind of give that a spread out. Like so. Huh? A spine and a what?
Pelvis.
Oh, spine and pelvis. It's a spiny pelvis. It's a spicy meatball. Mm-hmm.
Cool as hell.
How it can put heat back in.
It's funny, right? I describe it as being cool as hell. Get it? Because for one thing, it's not cool at all, and neither is hell.
Hut, hut, hut. Ha, hee, haw, hee, haw. It's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your kids are?